Horse Music TV! My name is Richard Bodina and I'm co-owner of this wonderful shop with my lovely wife Michelle Bodina, who is not a music stand. So today I am going to be, just stating the obvious, I am going to be interviewing 3 different cellos for a customer. And the first of them is one that I have interviewed before, a type of cello that I've interviewed before. This one is called the Schumann Prodigy. And I really like these as sort of like our starting cello. They have this sort of beautiful sort of ruby red. Well, it's not ruby red. What am I talking about? It's got a little bit of a reddish tinge to it though. It's a brownish sort of varnish with a little bit of ruby red in it, let's say. And they're quite well made, is what I like about them. And then after we've made all of our parts for them and that sort of thing, we spend about 4 hours on each cello because we're insanely obsessive about making the cello sound as good as they can possibly sound. After we've made all of those parts, they sound amazing in their price range. Really sort of deep and strong, beautiful. So this is called the Schumann Prodigy. And then I have a couple of second-hand cellos to compare it to. So this is a cello that someone bought in China many years ago, and they spent lots and lots of money actually, in Australian dollars, like $3,000, which in China is a lot to spend on a cello made in China back then. But you know, really high quality wood and high quality workmanship and that sort of thing. It doesn't have a brand inside or anything like that. But back then, when you were looking in this sort of price range, you got something like this. These days, I mean, China sort of represents the best and the worst of cello making, in my opinion. You know, some of the very best makers in the world are Chinese people. And when you're looking at top level instruments, then it has more to do with the skill of the individual maker than where it necessarily came from. And you know, there's award-winning Chinese makers. And when I've been over to China and gone to exhibitions and that sort of thing, you know, I could have had a couple of $1,000s in my hand and got something absolutely amazing from one workshop, and then go to the next one, you get something absolutely terrible. And then, you know, it's just like, there's so much variation. But the best of the Chinese cellos now in this sort of range is like much better than it was back then. So I reckon this is good, a really good cello, but I reckon if it was made these days by one of the top Chinese makers, it would have been incredible. So I feel like I've put it down. Next up, we have this one, which is a Gliga cello, which is a lot more plain looking, I would say, than that Chinese one, certainly. This one uses European woods, which even for the plainest of the European woods can be a bit more expensive than the most fancy Chinese woods. And often tonally better, but not necessarily. So yeah, it's not as flamed on the back or anything like this. This one has been loved and not loved. It's been beaten a little bit. Even has a little repair just here somewhere. Oh, there. Someone went biff and whacked it. They said, I don't want to do my cello practice or something like that. And it got hit. So what I will do is I will play these cellos because you know, what they sound like is very important. And I'll let you guys tell me what you think in comments below. Let's have a play. There you go. So the Gliga cellos just consistently have a very deep, tone, they often tend to be slightly bigger cellos than some, slightly bigger neck, thicker neck, sometimes a little bit deeper than, many cellos that we get, and sometimes a bit broader as well. So they're quite big, but they also have quite a big, deep tone. So that is... Yeah, it's really nice and deep, but it's still got projection on the top, so that's a pretty tasty cello. But as I said, it's been loved, so as to whether the customer wants to take a cello that's been loved, it is cheaper than it would necessarily otherwise be because it's been loved so much. All right, let's see what I'll call this the Chinese cello because it was bought in China. All right, so let's see what the Chinese cello sounds like. Okay, so I would say that's a more focused sound. It's not quite as deep on the bottom, but it is definitely across the whole cello, more like a cello that'll cut through in concerts and things like that. Similar amount of volume to the Gliga, I would say. Okay, let's compare that with Schumann Prodigy. Played a little bit out of tune, wasn't the greatest performance, but I would say that definitely had a bit more depth than the Chinese one, and probably a little bit more projecting sort of sound than the Gliga, so sort of more right in the middle of that spectrum. As to whether you're a person who really looks more for depth or looks more for projection, you could go either side of that or right in the middle. What I'll do now maybe is just I'll play each of those. In fact, I'll start with the Schumann. I'll go back the other way and I'll play each one more time without talking and talking and talking in between. All right. I'll play with my little bark thing. You get to watch the tag on this bow dance as I play. It's great entertainment. Tasty. Now, the Chinese cello, same thing. And next up, we have the Gliga cello. Which one to choose. Fortunately, it's not for me, it's for a customer. So please recommend down below, say, please, customer of White Horse Music, buy the cello that I have suggested. Thanks for watching, enjoy your day, bye.